Welcome back to MotoringBox. I'm Sean and this is my E51 Nissan Elgrand. And if you're watching the previous video, you know that we installed a fridge freezer into the center console area. Now, most people think when you install a fridge into your vehicle, the best thing to do is to get a secondary deep cycle battery to power that fridge and totally isolate it from the starting battery so you don't flatten it, because starting batteries are not designed for powering high current draw accessories like a fridge. But I do have an additional option which I'm going to show you today. So what we're going to be doing is running a dual purpose battery like this Century Dual Force Plus. You're watching MotoringBox, proudly supported by Century Batteries. So what this is an AGM starting battery, but it can also do some shallow cycling. Now with an AGM deep cycle battery, you typically don't discharge them below 50% of their state of charge just to get maximum cycle life and longevity out of them. With something like this, you need to bring that state of charge or the depth of discharge back a little bit, probably more like 30 or 40%. So when you look at these two batteries, you'll note that the Dual Force is a little bit wider than this existing battery, which I don't recall what it is in an Elgrand. It might be an NS60 or a 75D. We'll put it on screen. And you might think there might be some fitment problems because of that. However, the battery tray in the Elgrand is just plastic, and you'll note that it has a little spacer of some kind, plastic welded here to the side, which, you know, makes it perfect for fitting this battery here. But this one is going to be too wide. The good news is the engine bay has the space for this 24X Dual Force, and if we just remove that little spacer, it should bolt in fine. So this, I think, is going to be a good option for the Elgrand, because this is going to be a touring vehicle. You're going to be driving it all day on a road trip. And it's only when you pull up for the night that you're going to be relying on the battery to power things like the fridge. So it needs to be able to power it overnight for around 12 hours. And then when you hit the road the next day, it'll be recharged again. So this could potentially be a really economical solution if you're looking to power a fridge, but you're not going away for days at a time. Something like this could save you an investment on going for a full dual battery deep cycle system. So let's get this in first and then we'll go from there. So this little standoff is just plastic welded, and you could probably just rip it off, but I might use this soldering iron just to melt those little points there and just pull it off a bit more neatly, because this is an old sheet of plastic and yeah, it could be quite brittle. And there we have it. Clean it up, slap it in. The tray back into place. And yes, there should be plenty of space in there for our new Dual Force Plus. Tight fit, but it made it. And yes, more importantly, fits on the tray with space to spare. Look at that. So whenever you're working with batteries, obviously it really makes sense to double check that you've got the polarity correct. So we got red and red, positive, positive, black, black, negative, negative. So let's get the hold down on first. So to me, if my calculations are correct, this Dual Force is going to be a really great option for this vehicle. I don't have enough equipment or accessories in here to warrant a proper dual battery system with like a lithium pro. Lithium is obviously the most popular sort of battery when people are talking about leisure batteries these days, but AGM still has its place. And more importantly, lithium is not designed to handle high temperature situations or environments. So an AGM, and actually for that matter, a lot of AGMs don't like being put under bonnet either. But that is the Dual Force point of difference. They are fully designed to go under bonnet and can handle that heat that this mighty VQ engine is putting out. Now the Dual Force Plus does have dual posts on each side, positive and negative. So we just need to make sure that when we do up these terminals that we can still get access to these threaded posts here. So just need to bear that in mind. And again, until it does not move. Look at this, it fit up beautifully. So we've got plenty of space around the battery. It's not any closer to the engine. Like, bear in mind that spacer was spacing the original battery up to this end here. So it's not sitting any closer than it was. In fact, it's just going that way a little bit further. So very happy with that fitment. Now my fridge is still wired for a cigarette lighter connection, and it is just wired into the stock cigarette lighter. So unfortunately, when you turn off the ignition on the vehicle, the fridge turns off too. So what we're going to be doing as part of this process today is hardwiring it to the battery. And what I've done is buy a simple loom off eBay. So this has ring terminals, which will let me put it onto the threaded posts on the battery there, on the dual force. And it does importantly have a fuse in line, which we can check the rating of. So it is a 10 amp fuse. I'll have to do some calculations, but I think 10 amps will be fine. And then on the other end is a cigarette lighter plug. Now, if we were getting serious here, and we may do in future, you'd probably convert this to an Anderson plug, which is what all of the four-wheel drivers, the Tourers use that have dual battery deep cycle setups. But for this one, we're just powering a fridge. I think we'll stick with this for now. So the plan is wire this to the battery, poke this through into the cabin, hide it up somewhere behind the dash, plug the fridge in, and then you're going to have a fridge powered any time that the vehicle is not running. With a setup like this though, you need to be careful that you have a voltage cutoff of some description. My fridge does have a voltage cutoff setting inside it, which you can configure for different voltages. But if you don't have that option, there are companies like Victron that have like a voltage cutoff module, which you can connect via Bluetooth and set a predetermined voltage that once the battery reaches that voltage, it'll shut off whatever is being powered to save your voltage and more importantly, allow you to start the vehicle. So let's wire this in, see how it goes. All right, so the challenge here is usually finding a grommet of some description that we can actually poke our wiring through. So there should be one up here somewhere, I imagine. I might have to have a look from the engine bay side and poke a screwdriver through and just see where it comes out. They say size doesn't matter, but it clearly does in situations like this. We've got the fridge wired in and we just need to connect that cigarette lighter adapter into that plug, which I've got down here under the dash. So we'll plug it in and then we'll be able to tuck it away into this little cover here down beside the footwell. So we can still get to it if we need to. If you really needed to unplug the fridge in an emergency, you can also just pull the cable out of the front of the fridge itself. So that's nice and easy. You've got 2 points where you can disconnect it basically. And there you have it. So the ignition, totally off. But we can power the fridge on. So I checked the voltage of the battery, it's currently 12.6 volts. But if we have a look at the readout here on the fridge, it seems to have stabilized at around 11.9. So yeah, you can probably say 0.6, 0.7 of a volt lower at the fridge compared to at the battery. So really, I think the final thing to do here is to do an overnight test. What we'll do is we'll measure the battery voltage at say 8 PM at night. We'll let the fridge run overnight and then at sort of 8 o'clock the next morning, we'll see what the voltage is at the battery and see whether it still starts the car. That's going to be the real test of whether this is going to be successful or not. So let's give it a shot. All right, it is now 7:40 at night and we are going to be testing this fridge. So I've actually had this battery on a battery charger all day to kind of simulate as if you were driving and the alternator was recharging the battery. And I've had the fridge on for the past hour. So it is at 1 degree and I've got a loaf of bread and just a can of drink in there as well, just to have actually something in the fridge to load it up a little bit. So what we're going to do is we're going to flick the switch on the battery charger to turn it off. And then we're going to monitor the voltage overnight and see, we'll check at 7:40 in the morning to see actually what the voltage of the battery is and how it all held up. I also have a Bluetooth monitor on the battery. So currently you can see it's at 13.45 volts and we can also check the history here. So you can see that when I turned it on this morning, it started charging. It's been charging all day. It changed charging profiles and then you can see there where I turned the fridge on. So I do have this screen recording, so I'll put that on screen as well. And we will be able to check that app again in the morning to see how the current draw actually went overnight. So here we have the battery, we've got the charger, we'll turn that off and we'll disconnect everything from here. Shut the bonnet. So officially disconnected at 7:42 p.m. and the fridge is not actually drawing any current at the moment because it's hit its 2-degree target and it's just chilling at the moment, literally. So once the temperature rises, the compressor will kick in, bring it back down again, and that's when you're going to see the current draw on the battery. Just wondering where that went. Now it has just gone 8 o'clock in the morning, which means this fridge has been running for just over 12 hours. And it is currently sitting on the fridge at 12.4 volts, but if we have a look at the Bluetooth app, it is reading 12.66 volts or 98% state of charge on the battery. So look, that has gone way beyond my wildest expectations. And it just goes to show that dual force is more than capable of running a fridge like this overnight. And really, this could potentially run for the rest of the day and maybe even into tomorrow. So we may have to have a look at that. But it really comes back to the battery's state of charge. You'll remember at the start of the video, I talked about the depth of the discharge that you can take a dual force to. It's probably about 30 or 40%, which in voltage equals about 12.5 or 12.4 volts. So a fully charged battery is around 12.7 volts. Fully discharged is around probably 11.8 or 11.7. So yeah, the magic figure is around probably 12.4, 12.5 volts, and we are still almost at 12.7. Now the use case and the situation is going to change depending on what the temperature of the weather is. So it was around 14 degrees last night, which wasn't the warmest, and the fridge only has a few things in it. So depending on what you've got in the fridge and what the outside temperature is, the current draw may be higher. But it is interesting on this app, you can hit the little history graph here and you can actually see all of the times that that fridge cycled through the night. And the voltage went from roughly 13 volts down to, yeah, the high 12s. But look, that is incredibly solid. So if you're interested in this fridge, do click the link in the video description below. It's from Austrail. If you're interested in the battery, it's from Century Batteries. The link will be in the description as well. Highly recommended. And just goes to show, you know, a dual force is a really compelling option if you don't want to go for a secondary battery. It'll more than handle a fridge and probably a couple of other accessories in your car too. It's only when you get to inverters and microwaves and TVs and all that stuff that serious camper vans have that you would probably need a deep cycle. But for this, it looks like it's going to be fine. So if you have any questions about the fridge or the battery or anything I've done in this video, do hit me up in the comment section below. Otherwise, smash that like button, have a good one, and I'll see you in the next one. I'm going back to bed.